Okay, finally something interesting. So, James Franco is revealing that he likes to be dominated in bed. So, right off the bat, that's not going to work. And I think it's good for people to really be honest. First, you got to figure out what you like, and then you have to be honest with people that you're courting. Um, like, in my opinion, that's what the man is. The man does, not the woman. It's difficult to explain. Don't even get into homosexuality because that's a whole other thing. But in a straight relationship, that's, in my opinion, is the man's job. That's just what my preference would be. I've actually had situations where I had to be not only sort of like the director, which is annoying beyond measure when you have to direct someone in bed, but I had to be like the assertive person and be like always the initiator, and I can't stand that. That to me is not gonna work. Like, you begin to sort of seem like a female to me when you do that, and it's kind of like difficult to explain. Like, in a straight relationship, it's easier to explain. But it's like, if I'm a woman and you're a man, and you perceive to be a woman to me, there's no way that sexual relationship is ever gonna work. So he's like that, and he prefers women. Okay, so I'm sure there's probably people out there, but it's certainly not going to be me. Um, that was a problem with a couple of people, yeah. And it was like, what the hell is this? You know, it's like, when you're just kind of like looking for a one night or something, you're just like flipping some guy around and stuff, all right, fine. But in terms of a relationship, it's like, no, 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 no. Like, a man in a woman's body is going to go out with straight men for a reason, is what I'm saying. And it's not to have to be in the position of being the man, um, in my opinion. Um, because if you wanted to do that, then you would just be with women and not with men. Um, in terms of my opinion about homosexuality, it's like the um, the dyke is not exactly the man in a relationship, but because they're homosexuals, they don't behave the same as people that are in a straight relationship do. And I think I already went over the stuff about the rider and this and that, and it's like, it's not exactly about positions either, but I mean, um, things should just flow, and it's like, I mean, I guess maybe when you're courting someone, if you really like the person, then you could kind of, like I stated, like, it's like the person's like a virgin, and you have to sort of like educate them sexually. Um, I don't think that men really mind doing that if you're not insane and abusive. But it's like, if you're insane and abusive, right? Like, first of all, you better be like a dynamo in the sack, and even that is only gonna be very, very brief, because you can't be a dynamo in the sack to a man when you're abusive, because their sexual experience is based more on love and caring and emotions, and it seems actually more than it is with women. I don't know. And when you're in a bed with someone and you're like closing your eyes and you're obviously going off into some other fantasy and you're not even with the person, it's like, we're done here. Um, that's not intimacy in a sexual relationship to me. And I also think, it's just my opinion, that people that get into these sexual things where everything is like blackened is the end and that's the entire sex act, that's not healthy. And like, I think that it takes a long time to have a sexual act with the person. It's not like blackened is the end and that's your entire thing. Like, people have do different things at different times, and like to a man, if a woman is not really, really enjoying herself, it's not good. And it's just like, you know what? This isn't gonna work out because there has to be like like the man has to sort of like feel like he's like, driving this woman nuts, driving her crazy with this whatever he's doing. And if you don't have that, he's not enjoying himself. um, so I guess it would be interesting, to find out, like, and he's saying in this article that like sets the standard for everyone he's ever gonna be with. I don't think he's gonna be with another person then. Like he still remembers that, and he's like comparing people to that still. It's like, well, then why didn't you stay together if it was that great? Like maybe he's completely romanticized their relationship. And because he prefers to sort of be alone, he's just sort of like, that's his excuse why like a Seinfeld, like every person isn't going to work out. It's like, dude, I don't see a woman doing what you're asking for when you're still sort of talking about some person you were with before and how that set the standard for everything. Um, yeah, like this is why it's not good for older people in terms of courting. I think it's like once people really sit down and do their inventory and stuff, it's like I think a lot of people just decide that they're just gonna stay single until the next cycle because it's not able to be overcome. I mean, I'm in a sense, I guess, lucky, other than there's not another person like me that I would go out with, but um, I don't really have that, like that I would be like, this person said that. I don't even have, like, memories like that of being with people. And, like, there's been a couple of, people I've been with that there were certain things about the experience I liked, but it wasn't like a relationship. So you can never compare a relationship and intimacy in a sex life with like a one-nighter. Like you, because that's sort of like why it's a one-nighter, because it's almost like like you were in a porno for a couple of hours and stuff, and it's not like you don't know if that relationship would actually work out in real life. Like it's not like a real relationship that's gonna last. Like you could go out with that person again, and then it's like, and you're sober, and it's like, what was it again that was so great about this or whatever, and um, don't ever even attempt to court someone who hasn't been in recovery for a long time. If you've been in recovery for a long time, don't even attempt it, because that was like my first experience doing that, and you really can tell. You're just like, wow, so this is what people are like before they have all this sobriety. And it's just kind of like, I call it sad, in terms of they really don't know what they're doing. And you can like tell that, you definitely can tell the person has all kinds of repression and blocking going on, and that they've been abused, and it's just like, it's that obvious. I sort of already went over what I liked about that guy in Virginia Beach. It's like a combination of things. Obviously, when someone's really good looking, then you're always going to be like, remember that really hot guy? And then when it doesn't totally suck and it's a one night, because generally I used to always have this sort of like rule, and I would tell people this, and most of the time I do believe this, that you're like, you never ever have good sex when you're not sober. I mean, that it never happens. Like you're just in an intoxication where like maybe you have so much repression that you can't even have sex unless you're intoxicated. Or I think kind of in that case it was like an after the fact where I'm sort of like just rethinking it, and it like makes it seem like better than it was at the time. Um, But yeah, I mean, no one that is intoxicated is having good sex. So if they think they are, I disagree. I think that they're delusional, and that that could really indicate someone that's got a lot of repression and can't function like sober because they haven't gone into recovery and sorted all that stuff out. Um, and they don't know what good sex is. They don't know what an orgasm is or anything. Um, so that's why they have that opinion. So it's funny to listen to people talk when you've been sober a long, long time, and you've like cleared out all your stuff, and you like listen to people talking, and you can like just tell that they're just like, okay, you can say that all you want, but we know that you're in the bed, and you're just like, eh, or you're faking it. Because there's no way that you're seeing stars or anything, and you're going like out for 5 minutes seeing stars. There's no possible way that you're doing that because you can't do that when you're not sober. Um, and you also can't do it when you're in all these weird relationships. You, that doesn't happen. So I think sometimes people don't say that, but they just kind of keep it to themselves. Whereas I just point it out and say, sort of like I know I've kind of been in that situation. I was married for a long, long time, and it's like there's no way that you people are having that. You can tell by your I mean, think about it. If you were having that and you're like, every time you're like out of it for 5 minutes and seeing stars and stuff, and like you kill the one, all you're going to be doing as a couple is like la da da, like you're always going to be happy and laughing and stuff. You're not ever going to be having all of these emotional problems that I see people have. It's just not going to happen. And yeah, we would hope that people like that would be trying to do things for the greater good of all men, and not still trying to seek money and stuff, because it just I would think that you would have to be in truth in order to have that. Um, I guess sort of, from what I gather, like there's a complete just not even getting anything at all about what's going on in reality in terms of watching the television and still getting pissed off and still yelling at each other and not able to talk in a regular tone, but just like talking really, really loud and yelling all of your words, and like there's no way any of these jokes can be they can be getting, because I can just tell from their behavior. Um, I think I went over some of it. I mean, I think people that are not seeing a therapist weekly are not seeing a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist isn't doing cognitive assessments. Um, you're not catching people that are mentally incompetent and people that are like cognitively impaired. Like even just basic reality, I would say. It gets tiresome, it really does. It's sort of like everybody just sort of relax and do your thing. I mean, if you're still having all that pent up tension, then have a journal, please. Take long, extended walks. Um, keep a journal. You know, there's no reason for people to be getting all this agitation and stuff here. It's like, um, acceptance is a big, big part of recovery. We've gone over a whole bunch of that stuff, for years. Um, we're having realistic expectations of other people, and accepting, if your family's too screwed up to have like a family that you would have wanted to have, that's not going to happen. Um, and that we can't control other people, and being able to tell when we're getting sort of like hypo, as they're calling it hypomanic, or we're upset about something and we don't want to deal with it, so we're getting angry instead of just, sitting in a room and crying. Um, Things like that. I guess that's it. I shouldn't say this, but I kind of had a sense he wasn't really that good in bed. Um, but that's sort of a subjective thing. He would make a really good male platonic friend. Let's put it that way. I like people to be a little bit more manly, I guess is what I'm saying. Um, it's also unfortunate, too, when you meet someone who seems like they might be like that, and they're basically like a woman in bed who doesn't know how to do anything. That's a complete turn off to a woman, in my opinion. When a man is like that. I guess that's that. He can't be talking about that actress because she was like in high school when he met her. If someone's in high school and you're an adult and you're saying that about them, whoa. I can only imagine what you guys were doing in bed. That would probably be humorous to hear about.